Hey, hi everybody. Now, in a previous video, in fact, the one just preceding this, I spoke about wedding B word, the budget, right? So today topic is going to be who pays for what. Now, keep in mind that this is traditionally who pays for what. Necessity may dictate that we need to fly in the face of tradition, right? Somebody might have more resources than someone else and things like that, or they've got their heart set on something. You're going to hash all of that out well in advance. We don't need any feelings and things like that, right? Okay, so let's get started on our topic. Okay, now, wow, there are a lot of, there are very few subjects that are more uncomfortable to touch on than and to discuss with your fiance, your family, your intended wedding party than money. Okay, now the two of you have decided to get married. You may choose to invite both sets of parents or other family members to meet together to publicly announce your engagement, an engagement party, if you will. No, no one knows those closest to you better than you do. But when you announce your engagement, they may automatically in their head start thinking about their financial obligations, right? They're what you're going to ask for your wedding. Okay. Now, let's talk some historical numbers here, okay? In 2023, right, the average age of people that were getting married was 31, okay? The first time, 31, okay? Now, because people are getting married a little bit older, they may actually be more financially able to finance their own wedding ceremony, okay? But do even so, if you have family members, allow them the opportunity for everybody to sit down together and have that honest discussion about those budget numbers. Okay. Average wedding guest count, by the way, let me just throw that out there. 136 guests is average wedding um, guest count. Okay. Now, keep in mind also that the average wedding today is running between 15 to $30,000. 15,000 to $30,000. Texas, where I am, Texas averages $24,000 for a wedding. Now, the Knot, the wedding Knot, you might have heard of them, 2023 Real Weddings study found that the average cost of a wedding is actually closer to $35,000. Okay. Now, can you pull off most of the elements of a wedding ceremony for $1,000 or $10,000? You know, somewhere in that range? Yeah, you can. It can be done. Now, getting married in a church, of course, that's going to lower your cost of that venue, right? Do we have a nice backyard that we can hold our reception in, and all we have to do is worry about renting a tent maybe and um, tables and chairs and things like that. um, yeah, all of those things can help cut greatly down on our costs, right? If you have no wedding party, then you don't have to worry about uh, dresses and tuxes and makeup and hair and all of that kind of thing for your wedding party and guests, uh, wedding party gifts and things like that as well. Okay, you can then you can direct that budget what we talked about last week. You can direct all of those numbers over to other categories of your wedding, or even do away with them completely. So now that we have a ballpark figure of our budget, we're now going to divide that and saying who is going to be paying for what. Okay. So, there is traditional bride's family pays for the majority of the wedding cost, and the groom's family holds the rehearsal dinner. Yeah, all of that. Okay, we've already established that that's just a little bit outdated. It could be, like I said, your family may be very traditional, and all of those things fall into place just like that. But again, we can fly in the face of tradition and vary some things. So I had a little table here. I wish I had the editing skills to be able to pop it up into my video. I'm going to have to learn to do those things, but I will make it available on my Facebook page. And that's Facebook is Ubby Sabrina, Ubby Sabrina. That's my Facebook page. So you can go there and see this table there. Okay. All right. So family one, whichever family it might be, right? Family one, they're going to pay for the engagement party, the wedding stationery, ceremony venue. Okay, I think this is the bride's family, right? Flower arrangements, decor and rentals, wedding photography, catering, and the wedding cake. So obviously the lion's share of the budget is going in family one. So this is going to be probably the bride's family. Now, traditionally, the groom's family or family two, whoever that other party might be, right? They're going to pay for the marriage license fee, the officiant fee, okay, rehearsal dinner, reception entertainment. So the DJ or the band, what have you, reception alcohol and beverages. That can also, depending on whether you've got an open bar or a cash bar situation. And the honeymoon also could be differing cost depending on whether you're going domestic or needing passports and things like that. All right. Now the wedding party themselves, they are paying for their own wedding party expenses, right? A wedding gift for the couple, personal wedding day attire, and their wedding day accommodations, like if they need to stay in a hotel the night before or something like that, or the day after, all of those kind of things. Now, the couple themselves, of course, their wedding rings, they're going to be handling. The wedding party gifts, they're going to get a gift for all their wedding party, gifts for their parents, wedding gifts for each other, okay? And then, of course, wedding weekend events that might be taking place, they would also be responsible for as well. Now, here are the elements of the wedding and who may be responsible. Again, this is tradition and it should be adopted or adapted. Now, for couples who identify as a bride and groom, this is the terminology I'm going to use. Of course, this is variable, right? I'm an inclusive officiant, and so we're just going to use bride and groom titles just so we know that there's two different people there. Okay, it could be bride and bride, could be groom and groom. That's fine. Okay. But just know. All right, so ceremony. The bride and her family generally are helping pay for the church, synagogue, or house of worship, along with the sexton, the organist, and other vendors specific to the ceremony. The groom and his family are going to pay for the marriage license and officiant fees. Those are things that are kind of repeating here. Wedding attire, the dress, the bride and her family, also the veil, accessories, rest of the wedding wardrobe, including outfits for the shower, her bachelorette party, rehearsal dinners, and honeymoon. All of that's going to be handled by the bride's family. The groom's family is going to pay for the groom's outfit and an accessory such as his shoes, his socks, watch, and cufflinks, things like that. The wedding party is generally expected to pay for their own outfits. The bridesmaids pay for the dresses, and the groomsmen pay for their suits. Flowers and decorations. The bride's family pays for those floral arrangements for the ceremony and the reception, plus bouquet and corsages for bridesmaids and flower girls. The groom's party is going to pay for the bride's bouquet. See, bouquets and corsages for bridesmaids. Okay, so the groom's family pays for the bride's bouquet, boutonnieres for the men, and corsages for the mothers and grandmothers. Honeymoon, generally, the groom and his family are paying for the complete honeymoon. Photography, the bride and her family is going to pay for all those wedding photos and videos and all of that kind of thing. Pre-wedding parties. Pre-wedding parties. The brides or the groom's family, they're going to plan and host the engagement party. If there's more than one, then the bride's family hosts just the first one. Okay, so there you go. Rings, the bride and her family pays for the groom's ring, and the groom and his family pay the bride's rings. both of them, the engagement ring and the wedding ring. Okay. Stationery. The bride and her family are paying for all wedding invitations, announcements, and uh, wedding uh, RSVPs. Okay, all of those things. Transportation. The bride and her family are paying for transportation of the wedding party to and from the ceremony and reception. Hairstyling and makeup. If the couple is requiring their wedding party to have professional hair and makeup done by the on the for the wedding day, then that cost should be covered from the bride, her family, or the couple, right? If they are requiring it. Now, most of the time, most weddings that I've been involved with, the bridesmaids are responsible for their own hair and makeup. But if you've got the budget and you feel like treating your bridesmaids to a professional job, then yeah, feel free to do so. Of course, gifts, while these are not necessary, sometimes the couple decides to purchase gifts for each other on their more to present to each other on the morning of their wedding. They're going to pay for the gifts to their parents and the wedding party members on the wedding day. Now, extra weekend events, whatever is going on, we can and I have another article that I'm going to be putting out called, what are the advantages to a Friday wedding? So you may plan for an entire weekend extravaganza, right? But there you go. So extra weekend costs, those maybe need to be budgeted if the couple's interested in extending the experience, especially if they're swapping vows in a picturesque location. You're doing one of those destination weddings and things like that. People are going to be there for the entire weekend, right? So you're in some picturesque location. Group activities should be covered by the couple. Okay. Now the couple is going to pay for a post wedding brunch, like maybe the next day. Make sure that everybody gets together for a brunch. They may want to post a wedding welcome party if it, in lieu of the rehearsal dinner, right? The groom's parents may pay for that. Okay. Now, some modernization of some of these wedding traditions. Of course, it's going to be up to you and your loved ones to determine who's going to pay for what, right? Those old ways made it easier because those decisions were pretty much made for everybody. And so when we buck tradition, then have we get to make our own rules, right? Which may be a blessing or maybe a hindrance. Okay. So ultimately, again, it's all about your communication between and with all of the financial contributors. Now, discuss the priorities first. What are put the big rocks in, right? Put the big rocks in first. Discuss those priorities. What's the most important thing to you, to your wedding? Aligning your priorities is key, and that's going to dictate where you're going to allocate the lion's share of your funds. Okay. Now, during this discussion, it's crucial to be realistic about what you can afford, right? Dreams, dreams versus reality. Okay. Now, ask family if they can contribute. Have this conversation as early as possible to manage expectations. Establish all of those ground rules, right? Make sure that we are clear and we're having clear and normal conversation. There's not a bunch of emotion involved. Money can be a sticky wicket. That's right. So yeah, have that around these conversations around finances. So do it before you've already started to pay for things, and you become emotionally invested in things, right? So be sure to ask for this financial assistance. Don't go in with any expectations of assistance at all, right? Your people might say, "Well, we're sorry, you're on your own," as far as all of this is concerned. So don't go in there with saying, but here's the deal, right? Yeah, don't go any there with any expectations. All right. Ask if they can pay specific expenses, maybe, or would they prefer to contribute to a lump sum contribution basket, right? They may say, "Hey, we want to make sure that uh, we want to pay for the wedding cake, or we want to pay for the flowers. We want to pay for some specific expense and not just throw money into a community basket and have you draw from that basket. So there may be some um, considerations there as well. Of course, now that said, if I don't know, great aunt Margaret, and I don't mean to point any names, right? But if she says, I'm going to pay for the cake, so I get to dictate what it looks like and what it tastes like, no. This is not great aunt Margaret's wedding. It's your wedding. Even if they just, what I'm saying is, even if somebody says, "Hey, I'm going to be paying for this, so I get to dictate what it looks like, or tastes like, or is," no, that has to be something established right at the get go and discussed openly, saying, "Hey, this is our wedding, and it's going to be what we want." Right? We appreciate any financial help that you give us, but just because you're paying for something does not mean that you get to dictate what it looks like. Okay. So make sure that that's very clear right up front. Okay. All right. So again, if you pay, there's that thing. Yeah. If you pay, you have a say. No, that's just throw that out. That's if that's the rule, then yeah, we're gonna supersede that and go with the wants of the couple. Okay, bottom line is that your significant other should feel empowered to approach your wedding budget in a way that makes the most sense for you. Whether you follow tradition or toss the rules completely, know that communication and honesty is key in this whole thing. All right. Um, and that's, again, it can be an uncomfortable conversation, or it can be everybody's like on board and willing to help and throw things out there. But again, you know your people better than anyone, and do anticipate, problems that might happen. Okay. All right. So I do hope that you found something of use today. Uh, yeah. Uh, so if it would help me immensely if you smack down on that like button, and also comment. I'm looking for more material. I do have some planned posts coming up, but um, I do want to um, expand my material. So if you have specific questions that you would like me to address in future videos, please drop that into a comment down below. Also, subscribe so that you can hear those things that I come up with in the future. Okay, ring that little bell to be notified when I upload. Usually every couple of weeks. I may pop this one in pretty close on the heels of that budget video, just because they are pretty much related. In fact, a lot of repeat information, but I wanted to make sure, I wanted to kind of break it up because I don't like these videos to be super long. 20 minutes is about my goal to do this. But anyway, so remember that life is not about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. So create yourself to be the person that you want to be. It ain't easy, but it sure is worth it. All right. So until next time, thanks for coming by, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye, everybody.